Thank you both for doing this interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us here.
Thanks for having us here.
All right. Let's start with your names. Could you please tell me your name and what you do?
Yes, of course. So I'm Deep Shah. I'm part of the founding team here at Gnosis Pay, and I lead growth of the company. I've been in blockchain since the past 3 odd years or so. Before that, I was working with early stage venture-backed startups. And previously, before that, I had my own company, like a bootstrap travel company for a couple of years. So always been around startups and entrepreneurship, and joined Gnosis Pay about a year or so back, and it's been a crazy ride. I'll give it over to Raghav.
Hi, I'm Raghav Agarwal. I'm also a part of the founding team of Gnosis Pay, and I lead product here. Been in crypto for about 3 to 4 years, since like the DeFi summer, I would say. And before that, I was working in early stage startups back in India. And yeah, it's been a great journey here at Gnosis Pay. I've been here for about 2 years now.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Now, I know you guys are with Gnosis Pay, but I just want to take a little step back for my audience. And can we start with maybe just an overview of what Gnosis is?
Absolutely. They're one of the OGs in this space, right?
Yes, they definitely are.
And Gnosis is an interesting and such a diverse company in that sense, right? It has the chain. Gnosis chain is almost like a sister chain to Ethereum. It's credibly neutral. It is probably one of the most decentralized chains out there, with over 200,000 validators. It has like cheaper and faster block times compared to Ethereum. There's Gnosis, which has a venture capital kind of arm as well. And we also have a Gnosis Venture Studios arm, which is incubating different products like Gnosis Pay and a couple more. Overall, the goal of Gnosis is to kind of build sound products with practical real-life applications focused towards like payments and financial infrastructure, which is one of the core use cases of blockchain that we see, over the last 10, 15 years, that has been relevant, that has been continuous, where we see a lot of value accruing. So from a Gnosis standpoint, that's what the focus is.
Very, very well put. I would, from my perspective, I would also add that I think that Gnosis is one of the companies in the space that kind of adheres to original crypto tenets of like decentralization and transparency, and a lot of newer companies kind of go a different way, which is not good or bad, but like you said, they're an OG company, and I feel like you can see that in all the different projects and things that they do.
Exactly. And I think standing by the true ethos of blockchain around decentralization is a core part of being a part of Gnosis, right? And like you said, it's one of the very few companies that have kind of stood the test of time and continued to build things with those ethos in mind.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, let's turn to Gnosis Pay. Give me an overview of what this is.
Gnosis Pay. So it is basically infrastructure for on-chain banking. Our first product is, think of it as an on-chain current account or a bank account with a debit card linked to it and an IBAN linked to it. What does that mean? It's a regular bank account with the core of the product on-chain using Safe. You can use your Gnosis Pay card that we have at any Visa merchant worldwide. Core difference is that it's self-custodial. It empowers the user to custody their own funds, or even like be their own banks, right? There are a couple of other very cool features that we just recently announced. We launched the cashback program, which is funded by the Gnosis DAO, which almost gives up to 5% cashback, depending on the amount of GNO you hold on your Gnosis Pay Safe, and if you're an OG NFT holder. We love the word OG, don't we? But yeah, that's high level about Gnosis Pay. But in case you want to add something.
I can add a bit about how Gnosis Pay works, which is like the technology behind it. So just like Deep said, at its core, it's a Safe. Safe is a multi-sig smart contract wallet, and essentially like the power that it extends to its users is still having full ownership and control of their money. since it's totally self-custodial. So users can have their money in the safe, they can do bank transfers, they can do card transfers whenever they want, still having full control without ever losing control to a custodial partner. That's kind of our USP and how we differentiate ourselves to others. And one major thing that extends to the whole community is like the whole composability of the product, which is you still have access to all of the other products that you have on Web3, which is an open ecosystem, rather than being in a closed ecosystem. So you can have funds on, let's say, a lending protocol, you could be earning yield on it, and at the same time, you could be spending with it in the real world, the tangible world. Yep.
Very, very cool. So,
Just to add to that, here's the card, the first product.
okay,
For
yeah.
the cameras.
Let me see, can I see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah,
Very, very
this
nice.
guy was behind the design.
Good. Let's go back a little bit and just talk about Gnosis Safe, right? This multi-sig wallet. Can we start by someone please explaining a little bit more about this and why it's powerful and what it does?
Yeah, so Safe was also one of the products built by Gnosis, in fact, a couple of years ago, which is a multi-sig wallet. What a multi-sig wallet basically means is that you can have multiple owners of the same wallet. So unlike a traditional crypto wallet, which is also called like an externally operated account, which has like a single key, a single private key, which is owned by one person, a multi-sig wallet can have multiple owners, and what that allows is account abstraction. So you can have people setting up different thresholds for different kind of signatures. You can add different kind of modules to the safe, which allows different power functionalities, which is also one of the ways that we are using at Gnosis Pay, which is we add different smart contracts on top of this wallet, which allows us to integrate this with traditional financial infrastructure, just like Visa.
Very cool. So again, for the audience, and please correct me, because I'm sure I'll be wrong, and this will be helpful for everybody listening to this when I'm wrong. But yeah, so like a traditional crypto wallet, you have one owner, one set of private keys, but a multi-sig wallet, as you said, would have multiple private keys for the wallet, and you could have some simple things like it takes two people to sign the wallet. If it was like 2 of 3, so you have 3 private keys, it would take 2 people to sign the wallet.
Correct.
in order to like move funds or something like that. But it also allows things, as you guys were saying, where you can have smart contracts that are interacting with the wallet. And so then, is it that the smart contract has a private key access basically? Or how does
so a
this work?
smart contract doesn't necessarily have a private key access, but it allows composability of the account itself. So one great example of it is how we can abstract away gas for any transaction. So just like right now, if you deploy a safe on either Ethereum or Gnosis chain right now, you won't need to pay any gas for it because we abstract away that whole gas of deploying it. In a regular EOA account, you will need to pay gas from your own account. And that brings with it a lot of complexities which we can solve with account abstraction. So it's not necessarily an access to the safe itself with the smart contract, but access to certain functionalities which the user itself extends to different smart contracts.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Now, so you have this Gnosis safe, and then the fact that you have account abstraction, which allows you to do things like gasless transactions.
Yes, correct.
Right? This also allows you to interface, you said, with the traditional financial system.
Yeah.
Could you please explain that a little more?
Of course. So like gasless transactions is one way of using this whole power of account abstraction. What we do at Gnosis Pay, which is we use certain modules through the Zodiac standard called roles module and delay module. And there are also different smart contracts that basically attach onto the safe and allow Gnosis Pay to be able to connect them to the traditional Visa payments infrastructure. What we do with the roles module is essentially the user, being the owner of the safe, is extending a role to Gnosis Pay to be able to spend from the safe based on Visa transactions. Now, it still remains totally self-custodial because we are never an owner on the safe, and this power that the user extends to us is totally permissionlessly added or removed by the user themselves. So they set, okay, this is the particular contract or an ERC20 token which Gnosis Pay can use based on Visa transactions. So if there's any other tokens in the safe, we can never touch them. Along with that, there's also a daily limit which the user extends, and the user can permissionlessly reduce that to 0 or increase that to whatever number they want whenever they want.
Very cool.
Just to add to that, I think we don't realize the magic of what we've built in some sense, because how the traditional financial kind of rails work is when you kind of tap your card for, let's say, buying a coffee, there's something called as authorization that happens, and there's then clearing and settlement. These are the three processes that work.
Sorry, say that again. The three
So
processes
there's
are
authorization, clearing, and settlement.
And settlement. Okay.
And the magical part is the authorization, which is when you tap your card, the bank of the merchant via Visa asks the bank of the user whether the user has the money, and therefore that money has to be blocked, right? And all of this happens with Gnosis Pay, touching the financial payment rails and then translating this on-chain in under a few seconds. And it has to happen
amazing.
under a few seconds,
Yeah.
or else it times out, right?
Yeah, of course.
And that's the magic of what we've built, proprietary.
I mean, just to add to that, which is the whole magic is like, if you think about it, regular banks, when they have to make this authorization and commit to Visa that yes, the funds are there, they are the ones who are custodying the funds, so they can take on that risk to ensure that there is no double spending. In here with Gnosis Pay, we are able to ensure that there is no double spending, while at the same time never holding customers' funds. And also, even when the funds get pulled from the safe, they go to the issuer. They never even cross Gnosis Pay's account. We never touch the funds. So ensuring lack of double spending is, I think, a big unlock without custody of funds.
Very, very cool. That's so awesome. Now, I'm just curious, from Visa's side, right? Visa had to agree to partner with you, right?
That's correct.
How did that process work? Like, why would they do that? I don't.
That's a very good question. So, in general, I mean, I think it's not just Visa, but like all traditional financial infrastructure, they want to adopt new technologies, and they have been researching about blockchain technologies and how they can also get ahead of the curve and implement these technologies in their own stack. So, in fact, we announced a partnership with Visa a while back, and it was not an easy journey, getting all the approvals and everything in place, because of course it's a novel concept. For the first time, we have been able to ensure that there is no double spending without ever custodying the funds. And one key component that we always focus on is we want to work in a compliant way, which is adhering to all the regulations and stuff. So what that also requires is that we work with partners who are licensed to do this stuff. So one of our partners is Monerium, and we use their stable coins, and they're an e-money issuer based out of Iceland. So the stable coins that they issue, they are adhering to the MiCA regulations, which are upcoming, and that was one key component. And other than that, of course, adhering to the regular Visa principal membership guidelines and the e-money guidelines to issue cards all across Europe.
Just to add to that, I think the Gnosis brand also is very powerful in kind of working with Visa. We have a strategic partnership with them, which allows us to collaborate very closely on bringing them also onto this on-chain world. And Gnosis being the OGs in this space and knowing this space really, really well, kind of gave them the confidence that, okay, let's do something in a much deeper, more strategic way.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, it makes sense for Visa to want to do this because, they would like to retain their position at the point of physical contact. Really, what you're disrupting though is the bank, right? That's those are the players that really don't like what you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. It's I'm going to be speaking about this soon as well, but we call this banking 3.0. It's the world of on-chain banking, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I would just like to reiterate to the people listening how powerful this is. This is being able to interact with traditional financial system in terms of a credit card. When you use it at anywhere the Visa is accepted, but in a non-custodial fashion.
And just to add to that, one thing I missed earlier on when I talked about Gnosis Pay is right now we also provide or link an IBAN to your safe or to your on-chain account. And what does that mean? It means that you can very easily just send money in to this on-chain account by doing a regular SEPA instant transfer. Like if you're in Europe, let's say if you're a Revolut user, just send your money to like this bank account which is attached to your on-chain wallet, and boom, you have money on-chain now. And similarly, you can send money out to a friend, just like you're used to through a regular bank transfer. And that is magical because that blurs the boundaries between Web 2 and Web 3, right?
Yeah.
Because now you have an on-chain account with the power of Web 2.
Yeah.
Or you can think of it like a regular bank account with the power of Web3.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Very much blurring the lines. So one thing maybe that I would like to touch on now is I think it was mentioned earlier, was the composability of this, right? So like this infrastructure, this Gnosis Pay infrastructure is composable, right?
Yes, I'll let you answer that.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and so for the audience, that means that people can take this infrastructure and use it?
Yes, and they can build on top of it.
Yeah.
So what we're doing at Gnosis Pay is building this core infrastructure that enables all of these functionalities that we talked about. So the first product that we launched is the card, and that is a consumer offering, but that essentially acts as an MVP or like a showcase of what's possible with this technology. But what we're essentially building is this infrastructure that other people can build on top of. So that means two things. One is anybody who wants to offer a card program through their own, let's say a wallet wants to offer a card program, they can do that using our interface, using our infrastructure without worrying about compliance, legal, or risk, because all they need to worry about is creating the interface for it, creating the nice user experience, and be the point of contact with the user.
Exactly.
And what we
Yeah.
provide them
Yeah.
is the whole underlying infrastructure through which they can issue their cards.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like what you have with Stripe for regular acquiring. Just worry about the interfaces, and we give you the whole API suite and the whole backend to take care of it. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is, just like I mentioned before, at its core, it's a safe multi-sig. So based on that, people can build products in DeFi through which there's one company which is working on this interesting project where you can have funds in any volatile assets. And although you can spend with the card in only stable coins, what you can set is like this minimum threshold that I always need 500 euros to be able to spend with the card. So whenever the limit falls below 500, it automatically sells, let's say, your ETH to fill up the card, and that you can spend with it. So all of these things, they don't need a permission. It's just because it's self-custodial, it's on-chain, so you can build whatever you want on top of this safe as you wish.
Also, just to add to that, on the first point where we're kind of also building out these APIs for other wallets, I think what most people don't realize is what that enables wallets to become. It allows wallets to become neobanks of sorts. And think of a world where a lot of wallets have this. Think of a world where, let's say you're in Europe, for example, I am a customer with Monzo, I'm a customer with Revolut, I'm a customer with Lloyds Bank, for example, right? This means that I own the account in all of these three banks, and I choose the interface with which I want to interact based on the user experience they have. So I can pull my account from this place and just insert it here at the click of a button, right? And it's no longer bank owning the accounts, it's the users owning the accounts. And that's a big perspective shift that most people don't realize that is going to happen very soon.
That's awesome.
One thing I like to say is there's a lot of talk about open banking and a lot of push for open banking all across the world, and this is like true open banking on steroids, where people are really owning their bank accounts and they don't need to worry about switching costs between banking. So that's like open banking in its truest sense.
Very, very cool. I'm so excited about this. It kind of reminds me of DeFi summer, when people really realized the power of composability and started building, taking pieces from different projects and protocols to build other experiences and things like that.
Like Lego blocks.
Yeah, like Lego blocks. But it's so cool because this is it's composability that's touching traditional finance, which is completely siloed usually. And as you say, I love this quote, right? It's no longer banks owning the account, right? Users. Imagine that, users owning their own account. What a thing. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. This kind of thing excites me so much. Now, right now, Gnosis Pay is the card is only available in Europe, or is it like?
Yes, right now we're live in over 30 plus countries, mostly in the European Economic Area, UK and Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Asia? I live in Asia.
Ooh, all right. I'll not divulge too many details here
Yeah.
now, but our goal is to kind of expand very rapidly, ideally in the regions where such a product is wanted the most, right? So Latin America, Asia. But keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have something for you very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, yeah, because you're doing it in a regulated manner, and so
Yes.
I understand the hurdles, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate this.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah.
having
And
us.
best of luck. I'm going to follow this very closely. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.